A full NASCAR season isn't just demanding, it's cumulative. Travel, heat, adrenaline, pressure, recovery windows that get tighter every single week. For drivers, pit crew athletes, and team owners making high stakes decisions, stress doesn't happen once, stress stacks. And over time, that accumulated stress shows up as energy dips, slower recovery, reduced focus under pressure. Nothing dramatic, just enough to lose the edge. So here's the better question. What happens when stress builds faster than the body can buffer it? Let's break that down. Yes, welcome back to Breaking Boundaries for Champions, the only high performance health podcast for motorsports professionals. I'm grateful you're here. And today's topic, you're going to enjoy this. Two of the most effective high performance health tools for buffering stress. That's right. Today we're talking about magnesium and B vitamins. See, most people think stress management means relax more and sleep more. And those do matter. Of course, they're part of our de-stress protocol. However, if that were enough, high performers doing everything right would still feel, or I should say, wouldn't feel wired but tired, mentally drained, slower to recover, because stress isn't just external, stress is biochemical. See, there's two types of stress. You've heard me mention this before. There's external stress, like travel, competition, schedules, environment, kids, career, cash flow, all of those things. But then there's internal stressors. These are deficiencies and toxicities, blood sugar swings, and nervous system load. And when both of these internal and external stressors stack, the system downshifts. Instead of only reducing stress, support the body's ability to buffer stress. And just to be clear, this podcast does not intend to provide any medical advice or intend to diagnose or treat or cure any condition. These medical decisions belong with your licensed provider. What research demonstrates, though, and what we often see in clinical practice in our high performance health practice is that nutrient status directly impacts how the body handles stress. So, a simple way to understand this is stress equals load, and nutrients support the system. And if the support is low, performance becomes unstable under pressure. Now, tool number one is magnesium. This is the all-star mineral. Magnesium is one of the most important and most depleted nutrients in high performers. And the reality is that up to 45 to 50% of Americans are deficient. And this is according to a PubMed article. And over 50% don't meet the daily intake requirements, according to Linus Pauling Institute. Now, what we see in clinical practice is closer to 80% of clients are deficient in magnesium. And why does this matter? Well, magnesium is involved in, well, the number used to be 300 enzymatic reactions in the body, and now we understand it's closer to about 600 enzymatic reactions in the body. So magnesium is an essential mineral needed for everyday function, which includes energy production. So this is the ATP that your body relies on as an energy currency. Also, nervous system regulation. Now, tell me that's not important in motorsports. Muscle function, sleep quality, and yes, as we discussed, the stress response. This is why magnesium is considered the all-star mineral. And when magnesium is low, stress tolerance drops, sleep becomes lighter, recovery slows, tension increases, and that is a recipe for poor performance in recovery in motorsports. Now, we are always a nutrition first approach in our practice. So, magnesium intake from food is very important. We want to prioritize magnesium rich whole foods like dark leafy greens. This includes things like spinach and Swiss chard. Pumpkin seeds are a fantastic source of magnesium. Almonds, cashews, black beans, avocado, and definitely my favorite, dark chocolate. Talking about a high quality, Upwards above 75, 80%. I mean, if you can go above 80% cacao in your dark chocolate, that is amazing. 100% cacao, it's a little bitter for most people to consume, but I don't seem to mind that. You might not either. These are all strong foundational sources of magnesium. But consistency beats intensity. So, magnesium, it's not stored in large amounts in the body. So, daily intake through meals matters more than occasional perfect days. And I understand, let's do a travel reality check here. On the road nutrition, like airports and quick stops, processed options, often falls short, making it harder to meet these magnesium needs consistently during a race season. And even high quality diets may fall short because soil depletion and modern farming practices can reduce mineral density in food, which is why nutrition is foundational, but not always sufficient for high performers. So when it comes to supplementation, there's nuance. Not all magnesium is created equal. We want a functional grade magnesium. So what does that mean? Well, functional grade means highly bioavailable. That means the body can actually use it. We also want it properly dosed. We want a clinical based dosage. This is based on research. That's why I say our strategy in our private wellness practice is science backed, and as well as this podcast, all the information that I deliver to you is backed by science. And we want these functional grade supplements, specifically magnesium, to be designed for absorption. So, some common high performance forms of magnesium would be, so you have elemental magnesium, which is the actual element itself, and then it's usually bound to or chelated to a carrier or a molecule. So, magnesium glycinate. Well, let's start from the morning. Let's take it from the top. Magnesium threonate. So this is bound to a L-threonate molecule. This is great for brain health and memory. The clinical dosage is about 145 milligrams of elemental magnesium, and then this would be bound to an L-threonate molecule. So you're looking at about a 2-gram dosage, and this is best for the morning for brain health and memory. Magnesium malate, that's great for energy and for muscles. And what we like to use is a full spectrum magnesium, which does include magnesium malate, but it also includes a magnesium citrate, which is great for the digestive system, and also a little bit of magnesium glycinate, which is fantastic for the central nervous system. Um, we recommend, so a clinical dosage is 250 milligrams. That would be 2 capsules. So what we do in our practice for clients that need this would be, and we'll talk about how we know if they need it or not in just a moment. This would be 1 capsule at lunch, so that's 125 milligrams, and then 2 capsules with dinner. That's going to be 250 milligrams, and that is a fantastic way to support many aspects of the body. And then magnesium glycinate. This is great for calming that central nervous system, as I mentioned. And this is fantastic for before bed, about 30 minutes before bed, about 300 milligrams. We use a product called Calming Magnesium in our practice before bedtime, which is a powder. You just simply mix it with a little bit of water, a few ounces of water. It tastes great. It's got a strawberry flavor to it. And that's fantastic for optimizing your sleep as well. So it's not about more magnesium, it's about the right form. Now, tool number 2, activated B complex. We're going to talk about what the activated means and why a complex. B vitamins are the ignition system for energy and stress adaptation. Very, very important. And I do want to say about magnesium, magnesium is one of the electrolyte minerals, and that is important. That is like the spark plugs in your system. B vitamins are more like the ignition system firing the spark plugs for energy and stress adaptation, like I mentioned. So, why these matter? Well, B vitamins are important for energy production. They actually break down food and turn it into energy, and they have a significant impact on neurotransmitter balance. So these are great for your mood and your brain, which leads me to the cognitive function part of the B vitamins. And then, of course, stress resilience, because B vitamins buffer stress. So when we're under stress, the body burns through B vitamins faster. And when B vitamins are low, fatigue increases, focus declines, stress response weakens. And when you stay on that strategy, you are running in the back of the pack. So B vitamins on a nutrition first basis. So getting our B's from food, where do we get these? Well, we want to build meals around B rich proteins. This means grass fed beef, pasture raised poultry, wild caught fish, and pasture raised eggs. These all provide a strong foundation, especially for B12, B6, and B2, which is riboflavin. Now, not a lot of people like organ meats, but you can include organ meats when possible. We'll talk about an option in just a second. But this includes things like liver and other organ meats. These are some of the most nutrient-dense sources of B vitamins available. Small amounts go a super long way, so try not to overdo it. If you don't love organ meats, like I think I've eaten liver once in my life and I really didn't love it, so I've never had it again. But what I use is a functional medicine grade organ complex supplement. Very, very important that it's clean sourced from grass fed beef, grass finished beef. Very important. And then you can also support with, excuse me, whole food complex carbohydrates. Very important when I say carbohydrates that I use the word complex in front of it. So this is things like legumes, lentils, potatoes, and whole grains all contribute to B1, B3, and folate, which is B9, to support energy production. And you don't want to overlook those leafy greens like spinach and kale and romaine, provide a little bit more folate, which plays a key role in cellular repair and performance. And that travel and stress, those increase the demand. High output, irregular meals, and on the road nutrition can make it really difficult to consistently meet B vitamin needs through food alone, especially for high performers. So, this is where we get into the supplementation. And there's nuance to the supplementation. A lot of practitioners might recommend a single B vitamin. We recommend the complex because the complex works synergistically. This is very, very important for vitamins. And then the activated part means it's the most available form. It's already usable for the body. The body doesn't have to use extra energy or cofactors, meaning other vitamins and minerals, to be able to absorb and utilize the activated form of the vitamin. So, anytime you use a multivitamin or a B vitamin complex, you certainly want to see the activated or methylated word on the label. Not isolated, not synthetic heavy, and not underdosed. So the big question is, how do we know if you need more magnesium and you need B vitamins in your system? Well, we certainly don't guess. We test. And we test minerals, specifically magnesium. This is measured through our minerals and metals test. I actually have one right here, ready to go. Minerals and metals test. This can be done at home. This is known industry wide. It's been around for decades now. This is known as the hair tissue mineral analysis. And what it reflects is soft tissue mineral status for 11 minerals. And it also identifies deficiencies plus 5 of the most common toxic metals. This is far more useful than blood for minerals. And we want to see the optimal magnesium levels between about 5 and 11. And more importantly, are the ratios. So the ratios are very important, as I said. Calcium to magnesium, we want about a 6.5, and this is important for blood sugar regulation tendencies. And then the sodium to magnesium ratio, we want around a 4, and this is important for adrenal thyroid interplay, which is important for your energy. Now, B vitamins. B vitamins are measured through the vitamin and antioxidant test. This is a simple urine sample, and this shows functional nutrient status, and it reflects utilization, not just presence. This can be done right at home or right at the track, just like any of our at-home precision functional lab testing. And what do we always say? What is not measured cannot be optimized. So you might be wondering where magnesium and B vitamins fit into the high performance health framework. Well, first you need the tier 1 foundations covered first. So this would be your daily nutritional support powder or your daily activated multivitamin. Now, this does have a little bit of magnesium in it, and it also has a full B complex, but some people need a little bit more, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. Some of the other foundations are a daily omega-3, so we want to make sure we're getting our fatty essential acids. We're balancing omega-3s to omega-6s. We also have a test to see where you stand with that. And vitamin D3, very, very important for overall immunity, immune function, hormone production, things like that. We also have a test to test vitamin D3 as well. So those are the basic foundations right there. Once those are covered, then tier two is targeted support according to individualized needs. So that means your test results. So magnesium and activated B complex, most high stress clients need this targeted support only after the foundations are in place. And why this matters in motorsports for drivers and pit crews is reaction time equals nervous system. Recovery equals mineral status, and focus equals energy production. Team owners and executives, this is important for long-term health and legacy. Stress isn't the enemy, unbuffered stress is. So remember that athlete that was training hard but feeling slower, and sleep not restoring, and that focus slipping. That's not a motivation issue. That is a biochemical support issue. Now imagine calmer systems under pressure, deeper restorative sleep, consistent energy across race weekends, because the system has the resources to handle that load. For those exploring functional grade magnesium and activated B complex, I can't link up nutritional supplements on the podcast. The FDA won't allow that, but you can find these resources at jeffreymort.com/shop. Now, the final lap, the white flag is out here on breaking boundaries. Stress isn't the problem. Unbuffered stress is. And in high performance environments, the edge doesn't come from avoiding stress. The edge comes from supporting the systems that handle it. If you're the kind of person who's serious about optimizing performance at the root level, you can apply to work with Victory Lane Wellness at victorylanewellness.com. Programs that are built for drivers, for pit crew athletes, and team owners committed to precision, to resilience, and to their legacy. And every enrollment supports Race for a Reason, the program providing advanced functional testing for chronically ill children through racing-related charities. We'll see you in Victory Lane. Bye-bye.